What's up, guys? It's Saiyan here, coming at you with another Miracle Battle Carddass deck profile. Today we're looking at Mono Blue, and not just any Mono Blue. This is pretty much a set 15 only deck, because that's where I have my majority of my blue cards from. So the main theme is Son Gohan. Let's jump right into it, starting with characters. We got three Vidals. Um, very cool card. Not for the power levels, obviously, but she can attack. When you replace a character, the character would normally go to your trash. But if Vidal's out, you put that character into your energy face up and tapped, I believe. So definitely have a three of her. We got two Deburas. Really fantastic card, honestly. Particularly for late game blocking. Again, can't attack. It does level up with 1 JP, which is always cool. But you get when the Debura defends, you can discard a card from your hand, and he gets plus 5,000 BP, so you can make him 7,000 defender that can deal with that is very troublesome for your opponent. And realistically, we normally gonna have cards in our hands to be able to do that. But again, it's really good for late game. And right now, the best one I could find is two copies of Nappa from set 14. When this character comes into play, you can turn one of your energy face up. So as obviously with blue always plays with your energy, turns them up, and then you can do a bunch of stuff with that, and also destroys the opponent's characters and sends them to their energy, giving perhaps the advantage of ramping for your opponent, but ultimately removal is still very good. I only got the one copy of the Son Goten, but I mean, if I had three, I would run three. It's absolutely staple for any blue deck. Um, when it attacks, you can flip one of your energy face up, and he gets plus 3,000 BP. So it's a 4,000 attacker very often. If you do level him up, then you're looking at a 6,000 attacker. Again, I only have the one copy, so that's in there. Then jumping on to the set 15 cards, our first full play set of Son Gohan Youth. When you play this character again, you can turn one of your energy face up. And sorry guys, I have to cheat. I do have the translation. Um, yes, so you can hold on. No, sorry. When he attacks, you may turn one of energy face up to give this character plus 2,000 BP. If that was a Son Gohan character card, you also draw one from your deck. So it's basically the kind of like the evolution of Son Goten, and it also has obviously it's got Saiyan, and it also has Genius. And Genius is a very important trait for this deck. Now, I do like that you have the potential to draw a card off this guy, and also it's basically doing what Son Goten does. As long as you can get a turn 1 drop, you can still play this guy in turn 2 because you got the reduction. Immediately starts at 2,000, which is really fantastic, and then it's still a 4,000 attacker. Which is lovely, and the potential to draw a card that is just phenomenal. I just wish that perhaps they've used a slightly different artwork. That's my only kind of small beef with this card. But ramps up, turn. I mean, it can pump itself. It turns one of our energy face up. Potentially even draws a card. It does everything we want a potentially two drop to do. Then we got two copies of Bulma, and this is in contrast to the Gohan. I absolutely love the artwork on this particular card. One of those rare occasions when Bulma's not doing something very crazy, just kind of chilling. Got her spacesuit on the way to Namek, and again, a phenomenal card. You can potentially get it down on turn 2. And if you do, you immediately get a 3,000 attacker, which is really cool. And she also have a boost ability when you have 3 or more damage when she attacks. You can play a dramatic or a character card with a Dragon Ball from your energy without paying its energy cost. So really fantastic. And obviously, currently we've got Nappa and we've got Gohan that we went through that has a Dragon Ball. Of course, Bulma has a Dragon Ball as well. I do believe, except the card that's coming up next. Actually, no, I might be correcting myself here. There's two more cards, two more characters that don't have a Dragon Ball, but she's really, really good in terms of just a solid attacker, and again, a potentially two drop is phenomenal. Okay, so the next card I have a playset of Krillin the Kind. I guess that's probably a fair enough translation for him. A 5 cost card, but does get 3 blue reduction, and it's got a miracle effect, and it's the only card I've found in the game that is a character and comes straight to your hand if it's flipped for damage. So absolutely phenomenal. Just so good. The power up is brilliant as well. It levels up with 1 JP to level 2 and then 1 JP to level 3 for 5 6,000. Perfect. Really, really, really solid stats. And when you play this card, you can also pick any card, one card from your trash, back into your hand. So it's like kind of pseudo card draw, even. Maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit worse, because obviously if you haven't got anything in the trash, you can't pick anything. But if you have anything in the trash, then it's basically whatever you want that is in the trash. So really, really cool card. I absolutely love it. I've also gone for the reprint version. I just kind of like the artwork on this a little bit more, but yeah, really solid. I think for now it's definitely going to be a mainstay in any of my blue decks. I then have 2 copies, unfortunately 2 copies, but not the end of the world. 2 of this Goku. Um, this Goku has the DB Vegeta effect with this Vegeta here. So, DB is like if Goku's attacking, you can tap the Vegeta to give Vegeta's current power to Goku and vice versa. If Vegeta's attacking, you can tap Goku to give Goku's current power level to Vegeta. It's actually better for like, high, potential high power level cards. So, if they're both on level 1, then you still get a 10,000 attack out of the two, which is pretty good. Both have a Dragon Ball, so you can play them with Bulma, potentially from your energy. But going back to Goku, when Goku enters play, you can pick a card from your energy uh, with however many genius characters you have in play, except the Goku you just played. So just to go through it, so far we've had Bulma as a genius, we've got Gohan as a genius, and of course we do have Videl as a genius. These two guys are also having the genius attribute, and we have 2 more cards. The next 2 cards that come up, they also have genius. So you got a potential to have a good fair amount of genius cards in your hand, in your energy. Sorry. So if you got a Vidal in play and you play Goku, you can pick 1 card from your energy into your hand, and then you have to put 2 cards from your hand into your energy, face up and ready. So if you want to break even, you kind of want to make sure that you got 2 genius cards down when you play Goku. But if you don't, if you just got the 1 down, then you ramp. Basically, you're gonna ramp 1 because then you're just only picking up 1, or potentially you want to ramp 2 if you got no genius characters down. So there is some, latent flexibility to this Goku. I just really like the idea that, in a set where swap wasn't there anymore, which is definitely a very strong point of blue, and I would like to get swap cards into this deck as well, but just right now I just haven't got the right ones. You still have this ability to pick stuff from your energy into your hand, which is basically how blue operates with card draw. So that's what we got the 2 Gokus for, and Vegeta has the ability that when he attacks, If you control 4 or more Dragon Balls, so like he comes down with one, and then you can either have like a dramatic, or dramatics may have 1 or 2 Dragon Balls, and any other characters. As long as you got 4 Dragon Balls in play, when Vegeta attacks, you can send one of your opponent's characters the cost of 4 lesser energy, face up and tabbed. So it's a removal. It's a bit of a ramp, but it's not an immediate ramp because they get it tabbed, so that's pretty cool. And it's just, it's like a solid way to remove stuff. And again, as I said, he's also got the genius trait. So these two guys actually work really well. I think these, one of those rare examples where you don't only get the DB tag effect, you get something else. But obviously, these are Dragon Ball rare cards, so that's why you got them doing what they do. Okay, I think I've said more than enough about this. These cards here. So moving on, we have one of the main beaters of the deck, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth, of course, against Cell. I absolutely love the artwork on this card. I also absolutely love when Gohan's wearing basically Piccolo's outfit. I think that's really cool. So it's like the final battle against Cell situation here. So this Gohan, when you play him, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck and put all revealed Son Gohan character cards into your energy zone face up and tapped, and you discard the rest. So immediately you are hopefully going to ramp. It could be anywhere from 0 to 5 cards. You very rarely gonna hit 5 cards, but if you ramp 1, maybe 2, that's pretty cool. I think that usually by the time you get to that point, perhaps having that ramp isn't necessarily that important, but it can be good to like get some extra energy, perhaps for the next turn, that you can get the Omega Gohan out and get a dramatic out or something like that, or maybe have more energy left for attack cards, action cards. Anyway, when he attacks, and this is the really cool effect, when he attacks, you can pick any card from your opponent's trash, put it on top of their deck, and he gets plus 5,000. So not only does he basically double his energy, because he comes down with 5,000 and actually levels up with 1 JP to 6,000, but he can be a 10, an 11,000, and that's even before you have a dramatic out in play or you played an action card. And you can also control your opponent's damage, and that is huge. That is absolutely I mean, I would run this card even if I had like 0 other relative cards that combo with this guy, because that ability, that attack ability, is just amazing. It's so good. So you kind of want to make sure you're going to put a card on top of your opponent's deck that doesn't have a miracle effect, or if it does have a miracle effect, it's a dead miracle effect. And then you're just controlling at least that 1 damage. In a game where you die of 5 damage, that's a high level of control, which this card just gets you. So it's a 3 of, and really it's got to be a 3 of as well. We kind of because we care about Son Gohan cards. We got 8 Son Gohan cards in the deck. I'm not like a massive fan of that because you obviously can only ever have 1 Gohan in play, but you still benefit a lot from this card. And at the top end, the boss monster, we've got 2 copies of the Omega Rare Ultimate Gohan. Again, I think the art is pretty cool on this one. Not my most favorite one, but it's pretty cool. Again, as I said, genius as well, just like the previous Super Saiyan 2. It actually comes down fairly cheap. It's an 8 cost, but it does get 4 reductions. So you can, very easily play this card on turn 4. And this card, whatever it says on the card, which I'm going to go through in a second, but really you could just say you win the game. It's so good. It comes down with 8,000 power. Usually, if you get your cards out correctly, or that there's enough removal, then you often will be able to get him out at least at level 2 with the 2 JP. And so what he does is, during your battle phase, when a character you control with Genius defeats an opponent's character in the BP showdown, put the top card of your deck into your energy, face up, and ready. So any of your geniuses, as long as he's in, that's like a continuous effect during your battle phase. So if you swing with the Bulma and it gets rid of one of your opponent's characters in the BP showdown, then you ramp. If he destroys something, you ramp. You just basically, if you kind of like, you got like two, three characters out that all have genius, and you can kind of ensure that you're gonna get damage through, then you're just gonna be ramping, which is kind of maybe a little bit overkill, perhaps, but it just allows you to have more flexibility during your opponent's turn if you then go to block, because obviously we've got action cards in the deck. And then his second ability is mind blowing as well. Whether he attacks or blocks doesn't matter. For each Son Gohan character card face up in your energy, send one of your opponent's characters to their energy face up untapped. So it doesn't care about cost. It just looks at, well, first of all, it combos well with the first ability that you have the potential to put more Gohans into your energy. But the fact that you can just get rid of one, two, three, four of your characters, whether Gohan's blocking or attacking, is just that's the part when I say like you basically win the game, because it's really difficult to keep pace in this game if a card hits the battlefield that's capable of removing multiple characters without any additional card uh, um, to be burned from your hand. And this Gohan does that. It just looks at, okay, well, I got two Gohans in my energy, so if I attack with Gohan, I'm gonna, get rid of the two of your biggest characters, and then you're probably not gonna be able to recover from that. And that's pretty much what he does. Or you can, if you kind of like want to hang on a turn, you can hold back the Gohan, and then you block with him, and you block one guy, but you can also probably destroy one, two, depends again how many Gohans you got in energy. So again, that's why it's kind of like nice to have this Gohan, because we can ramp into more Gohans that's gonna feed this Gohan. Of course, the little Gohan allows us to turn the energies face up, so we know what's there. And so Goten helps with that too, and of course Nappa helps with that as well, and Videl helps us to ramp as well. But if you do get little Gohan out, then you replace it with Super Saiyan 2, then little Gohan's gonna go in your energy, so he's immediately gonna be fueling that guy. Then if Vidal's still out, and then you play the big Gohan, then you're already guaranteed to have two Gohans in your energy that he's gonna feed off from. So a lot of synergy that's going on in this deck. That's just like with the Gohans that you got in the deck, and then the genius kind of just like the icing on the cake, I guess, for like many different scenarios, aspects of the deck. I'm gonna move on and talk about dramatics now, because I am a firm believer that dramatics win or lose games for you, and having the right dramatic out at the right time is super crucial in this game. So currently I'm running, and this is gonna change, and I also don't want to run that Vegeta as well, so I don't really care much about cards with Dragon Ball, but it's in there for now, mainly because you can play for free, and that's gonna be fairly easy to do. 2 cost, but gets 2 blue reduction. And this is Son Gohan's Revenge, is what the card's called. During the beginning of your opponent's battle phase, you turn one of your energy face up, and depending what the cost of that card is, none of your opponent's characters can attack with that or lower cost. So if I flip a 4 cost, none of my opponent's 4 or lower cost characters can attack in a turn. So it's kind of like set 15 and 17 for sure. I know that uh, blue and also purple got like these very defensive dramatics that actually can just completely stop your opponent's um gameplay, completely freezes them and they can't attack. And that's the one that basically, that's pretty much been designed for this deck. Again, it's just another Gohan themed card, so And the other one that I have in here is, well, first of all, I am myself a big fan of the future timeline, and I also absolutely love the art. Trunks, obviously, with his mother Bulma, Now this dramatic also has the miracle effect that you can get it into your hand. So that's really cool. You can get it out for as cheap as 1 cost. And all your characters, this is a continuous effect, all your characters get plus 2000 BP. All your blue characters get plus 2000 BP, and they get the future trait, or the another world trait, I believe. But yeah, it's the future trait basically. And there's a bunch of stuff that then works with this from set 12. This, I believe this card is from set 12. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Obviously, there's like the future Super Saiyan Gohan. You got a future Trunks as well that just does a bunch of things. Um, Again, making all your guys future is a really big thing for that deck. But for this deck, I just wanted a dramatic that just gives me a static power boost. That 2000 is a really, really nice sweet spot as well. And the fact that you get it into your hand if it's flipped for damage, perfect. I would like to have another dramatic replacing this one that also has the jump into hand miracle effect. In fact, um, that's something I'm working on right now. But yeah, this is just like get a little bit of a power boost, and that's all we care about for in this particular deck. So these are the two dramatics, both a playset. And then let's look at the support card that we got here. This support card is mind-blowing. Generally, I think support cards are really good, but this kind of shuts down a lot of sort of pre set 14 decks. So if you're not running a support card in your deck, then this card is going to make your life miserable. So you can play it for as little as potentially 2 cost, and you have to attach it to a level 2 or higher character. And you can play a support card and not attach it to anything. You still get the enter the battlefield ability, but if you haven't got a character that's level 2 or higher, then then it just kind of sits on the battlefield, and then when you do have a level 2 or higher character, one of your actions can be just to attach this to one of them. You don't have to repay the cost or anything like that. That's kind of how supports work. And I believe in the Naruto version, the kind of support equivalent cards, Jitsus or whatever they call, they have been around for a long, long time. So this support, when attached to your character, it's going to increase their battle power by 4,000, and they also deal +1 damage. So immediately makes anybody that you attach this to, as long as they're level 2 or higher, a lot stronger, and dealing 2 damage is always really good. Closing down a game early is really, really key to this game. As I said in previous videos as well, the longer the game goes on, the crazier things can get. So anyway, you then basically also get this support card's effect that applies to the character that it's attached to. And in this case, it says when the character attacks, all of your opponent's characters with no support cards attached to, or no support card attached to, must pay 3 cost, or they cannot block, obviously, the attack of this particular character. So um, very often, if your opponent taps out, or well, they don't even have to tap out, but if they have anywhere between 1 to 2, 0 or 1 to 2 untapped energies, they won't be able to block the guy unless they have a support. That's why I said that it kind of locks out older decks from the game a little bit. So that's one thing. And then if this card is attached to your Son Gohan character, then you may also send one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less to their energy zone face up and tapped. So it kind of almost gives you an almost unblockable character that deals 2 damage, and it also is capable of removing some of the tiny first like the cheap drop kind of blockers. So again, it's just that package that does it just keeps giving. That's so much you can get from this card. And I'm just really lucky to have the 2 copies of Kintoon. That's the name of the cloud. On to actions. We've got 2 copies of Janamba's instant transmission. I chose this card for a number of reasons. First of all, the art is amazing. You can free play it because whilst it is a 2 cost, it does also get a 2 blue reduction, and you can use it for attack or block, and the character gets plus 2000 BP. And if you want to, you can, at the end of your turn, you can move that character into your energy, face up, and ready. So it can be really cool because it kind of does pretty much what Vidal does. Um, if you kind of, let's say you block with a Gohan, with the little Gohan or the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, you give him a little bit of extra boost, and if you do know that you got your Gohan in your hand, then um, you can kind of make them a very cool blocker, extra 2000, and the fact that you can free play it, that's one of the main key points that I gotta say. Like, any action card that you can free play is fucking fantastic. Well, not any action card, but obviously it's gotta be good. And then we got Mashenko. Absolutely must be in the deck. Quite, quite reasonable from Bandai not to give it Miracle. Again, you can free play it. Whilst it is a 4 cost, it does get 4 blue reduction. You can only play when you attack, but your character gets plus 5000 BP. And for each Son Gohan face up in your energy, put the top card of your deck into your energy face up and ready. So again, you just increasing general ramp. If you got the one Gohan, you're already gonna be ramping one. That's, you don't even need to. It's just that plus 5000 that you can potentially free play. It's amazing because obviously blue cards aren't necessarily gonna be topping the charts with the best highest power levels. But this really allows you to like kind of break through, take one of their key characters down if they do decide to block, and then a potential ramp as well. And then if you do hit a Gohan of that, then that's again just going to fuel that snowball effect that we can get with more Gohans in our energy. And then finally, this is a card that I kind of having there because I do like consistency, and it does have the miracle effect. But it always feels really bad to have to hard cast this card. But I guess with the extra ramp, this is one of those where we can probably have a little bit of a payoff. Because it's a 4 cost action with only the 1 blue reduction. But you can use it either in attack or block. And it's called a Dynamite, but probably most of you watch this do know Hercule's one of signature moves of Hercule, or Mr. Satan. And basically what you get from this card is send one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less to their energy zone face up and tapped. So this is our, like, you gotta have some action based removal in the deck, and this is the one that I currently have in here. I have a couple of ideas what it could be replaced with, but for now, this is basically. I mean, you kind of would want. I think there's a card. I think Mr. Satan that allows you to free play this card. That's probably also why the cost, but you can't have everything in the deck. So this is a very much a flex slot. And again, just going back through some of the, I mean, I absolutely love these. These will probably stay as long as I'm running Gohans. These will stay. I really like this, but I do know there are better dramatics out in previous sets, particularly with the miracle effect. So these will obviously be replaced. And as I said, I'm also going to be taking out the Vegeta and potentially even these 2 Gokus if I kind of want to go into the world of having more swap cards in the deck. Because honestly, the genius thing only really comes up with Gohan here, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I think yeah, it pretty much only comes about with these guys. I don't even think it's like a thing with this Gohan. I don't know, because this is looking for Gohans again. Yeah. So yeah, the genius thing was is really cool to have for the main Omega. That's pretty much all. Um, that's pretty much the deck profile for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, leave a like below and share the goodness with other people. Let them know that Boss Saiyans making Miracle Battle deck profiles nowadays. And up until next time, peace out.